This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. Hello, can you hear us? I think we're using our 1 second. Hello.
Hello.
This conference is no longer being recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. Right. So welcome to the Anjana Sutta Academy daily Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today is 2021, October 12th, and today with us in the live audience we have Mitravinda Devi Dasi, Yugala Kishore Dasi, and Parama Karuna Das, okay, and Hanumatpresaka Swami. And in our electronic audience, we have Vilasani Devi Dasi, Vijay Govinda Das,
Hare Krishna.
Devi Das, Rosa Elena Kanchukaha, Parasrama, Lalita Gopi Devi Dasi, Lakshmana Garaja, Ramana Meti, Karuna Shakti Devi Jai, Kulia, Quasar Torres, Jaran Singha Harsh, Professor Harsh, Guru Govinda Dasi, Maite, Gracias, Damian, Chitrasakti Devi Dasi, Carlos Roll, Champaka Lada Devi Dasi, Abhinandan, and Ishwari Radha Devi Dasi, and Hanumatpresaka in the org. And we also want to offer our respects to all the people who join us if we broadcast a link for this class. And today we have, okay, let's say in chat. So who can be our lunes por la tarde es español, martes por la mañana es inglés, y miércoles por la mañana es español. You know, so tomorrow is Spanish class. So unless you're English, you can't attend this class today. I guess you can attend it, but you won't understand it because we're going to just talk in British English today. So who can be our chief guest?
Maharaj, we also speak British English, so we can be your chief guest.
Sir, you do not speak British English, sir. You speak.
Okay.
Yeah. After 1947, everybody stopped speaking British English. It's been a while. Yeah. I would. How was your delay? Repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, so you can be the chief guest. You have a fast network. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, Maharaj. Ashok 1.
Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Janabalava Girivaradari.
Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Jamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Kunja Bihori.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Janabalaba Girivaradari.
Gopi Janavallabha Givaradhari.
Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana.
Jamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Shishi Radha Madhava Astasaki Ki Jai. Shishi Chaitanya Chandradaya Mandir Ki Jai. Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devam Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayam Mudirayat
Tato Dayad Mudirayet.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So, आज कल दुर्गा पूजा है.
जी महाराज.
आज दुर्गा पूजा है. आज class Hindi में. Today's class is in Hindi. Okay.
Yes, Maharaj. We can translate.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What do you see?
I see SB 10.48 Durga Puja.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Please repeat. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 4th chapter, the atrocities of Kongsa. Yeah. Verse number 8. Tam Gritva Charanayor.
Tam Gritva Charanayor.
Tam Gritva Charanayor.
Tam Gritva Charanayor.
Jata Matram Svasu Sutam.
Jatu Matram Svasu Sutam.
Apotayachila Pris.
Apodaya Chila Presthe.
Svarton Mulita Saurda.
Svarto Mulita Saurda.
Boliega.
Yes. Tam Gritva Charanayor.
Tam Gritva Charanayor.
Jata Matramam Swashu Sutam.
Jata Matram Swasu Sutam.
Apotayak Chila Preshte.
Apotayachila Preste.
Swarthan Mulita Saurdha.
Swarton Mulita Saurda. Another devotee chant.
Tam grihitva charanayor
Tam gritva charanayor
jatamatram swasusutam
jatamatram swasusutam
apotayachila prishthe
apotayat chila preste
swarthonmulita sauhridaha.
Swarton mulita sauhrida. Some of the respectable ladies. Kulastri.
Tam grihitva charanayor
Tam grihitva charanayor.
jatamatram swasusutam
Jatamatram svasusutam.
apotayachila prishte
Apotayat chila preste.
swarthonmulita sauhridaha.
Swarton mulita saurida. Another? Tam gritva charanayor. Jata matram swasusutam. Apotayat chila presta. Swarton mulita sauhrida. One more. Tamgripa charanayor. Jatamatram swashosotam. Apotayat chila preste. Swarton mulita sauhrida. Translation. Having uprooted all relationships with his sister because of intense selfishness, Kamsa, who was sitting on his knees, grasped the newborn child by the legs and tried to dash her against the surface of a stone. Please repeat. Having uprooted all relationships with his sister.
Having uprooted all relationship with his sister.
Because of intense selfishness.
Because of intense selfishness.
Kamsa, who was sitting on his knees, grasped the newborn child by the legs.
Grasped the newborn child by the legs.
And tried to dash her against the surface of a stone.
And tried to dash her against the surface of a stone.
Aye. So again, this is Durga Puja on the calendar. We make some comments about this. And of course, this is very, very graphic representation that Kamsa wasn't just a Walt Disney comic book villain. He was extremely, cruel, violent, brutal person. And so this is the narrative of what actually happened, 5,000 years ago during the age of bronze, the age of bronze. And here's a very, very beautiful picture. I think it's by an ISKCON devotee, but it shows Devaki and Vasudev here, without much he can do in the face of this powerful devil, Kamsa. But when he tries to grab the baby, she slips. Then something special happens. Of course, it'll say she slips from his hand and appears in the sky as the goddess Durga. Okay. So, can you see the next slide, Professor?
Not yet. No. We are still on the first slide. Yes, now we can.
It's about a 10-second delay. It's not bad for 12,000 miles. Okay, texts 9 through 13. The child, Yogamaya Devi, the younger sister of Lord Vishnu, flipped upward from Kamsa's hands and appeared in the sky as Devi, the goddess Durga, with 8 arms, completely equipped with weapons. The goddess Durga was decorated with flower garlands, smeared with sandalwood pulp, and dressed with excellent garments and ornaments made of valuable jewels. So you see there's some nice pictures here of Durga, with nice jewels, nice ornaments, nice statue down below. Holding in her hands a bow, a trident, arrows, a shield, a sword, a conch shell, a disc, and a club, and being praised by celestial beings like Apsaras, Kinnaras, Uragas, Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas, who worshipped her with all kinds of presentations, she spoke as follows. "Oh, Kamsa, you fool, what will be the use of killing me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has been your enemy from the very beginning and will certainly kill you, has already taken his birth somewhere else. Therefore, do not unnecessarily kill other children." After speaking to Kamsa in this way, the goddess Durga, Yogamaya, appeared in different places, such as Varanasi, and became celebrated by different names such as Annapurna, Durga, Kali, and Bhadra. So tell us when you can see the next slide, Harsh Pradhan. Professor?
Now we can. Yes, we can.
So a couple points right away. This brings one thing to mind. It's a little like a side comment almost on something which is happening in ISKCON within recent years. And this is then from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 2nd chapter, 10 to 11 and 12, where Lord Krishna, Vishnu, is arranging for the 7th, whatever, 6th or 7th pregnancy of Devaki, which will be Balaram, but he'll be transported someplace else. And so he talks to Maya, Yoga Maya. She doesn't appear in the world, but she appears before the Lord. And it says, Lord Krishna blessed Maya Devi by saying, in different places on the surface of the earth, people will give you different names, such as Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kurmuda, Chandika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Maya, Narayani, Ishani, Sharada, and Ambika. Okay. So this brings up this term Vaishnavi, which wasn't used in a very, very broad sense, in a wide sense, until, I don't know, maybe some years ago, maybe 10 years ago, 11, 12, and suddenly it became introduced all across our society and has become a controversial point. So we'll just mention it briefly here, like that. But for us, it always where it doesn't seem natural for us. It's agitating to our consciousness when we hear someone being addressed as Vaishnavi. We, as the introduction, if you look on the Vedabase.io, Prabhupada's books, you get 20. It says there are 22 times that it's used in Prabhupada's books. Now, this is not a lot. I didn't look up how many times the word Vaishnava was used, but probably the word Vaishnava is used a lot, but only 22 times in all of Prabhupada's books does it occur. And out of those, when I looked it up before, I didn't have time this time, I think it's something like 18 out of 22 times it's referring to the goddess Durga, to Maya Devi, And so if you're saying, this Mataji, she's a very prominent Vaishnavi. So with general connotation would be she's a very prominent Maya Devi, right? Which is seems strange. Like that. She's a very prominent and beautiful witch. Okay, so that's one. The general use is the way it's used in Prabhupada's books is to indicate the goddess Durga, who was deceiving all people in this world, men and women, like that. So he says Durga. Then it's also used for the prostitute who tried to seduce Haridas Thakur and then became a Vaishnavi. And it's also used for Aditi, who did sacrifices guided by her husband to try and destroy her co-wives' children. Aditi, who tried to kill Diti's children, and then became a Vaishnavi. But so in these senses, it's like somebody, maybe a reformed character and whatever, maybe still some material consciousness lingering or to be removed. Okay, a designation for a bhakta who's this and that. But on the other hand, it's also used for Madhavi. Lord Chaitanya had only 3.5 intimate associates. Now we're going to ask Mitravinda Devi Dasi, who are Lord Chaitanya's 3.5 intimate associates? Ramananda Roy, Sikhi Mahiti, then Sarup Damodar, and the sister of Sikhi Mahiti, which is Madhavi. I think it's Madhavi. I think so. But this is right away is interesting because Prabhupada says very directly in Vedic cultures, ladies are counted as 1/2 person. So I don't know what it means exactly, So this is the perspective on this. I'm not maybe going to draw any hard conclusions or anything, but we're explaining our particular perspective on this and consciousness and how we react to it. So in this case, it's Prabhupada calls her a Vaishnavi. You cannot get a higher title, to be compared to Sikhi Mahiti's sister. There's, it's something everybody, doesn't matter what kind of body you're in, you're hoping to become a Vaishnavi. So it's a little bit about our perspective. And over here, we also have our Swarup, trying to resolve all these different things in ISKCON. Because to me, what it means is you're applying bodily designation. If we say everybody is Vaishnava, okay, then it's they're Vaishnavas. It doesn't really, it's not saying, he's a black devotee, or she's a white devotee, or he's an American devotee. Prabhupada uses it sometimes, but generally, my major thing is that we're all Vaishnavas. And to me, it's like trying to say, we start to saying, Atma, Atmi. No, the Atma is transcendental to the bodily designations. So what do you say about that, Mr. Harsh, Professor Harsh?
Yes, Maharaj, this reminds us of meeting of Jiva Goswami with Mirabai, where she says she does not know any other man apart from one man. So all fragmented living entities are predominated. So all of us are equal and feminine. Now there are two parts when we say feminine. So one is the physical or biological part and the psychological part. So that's what you want to say, that though there might be some difference, it's our truck or car, whatever you want to say, but ultimately we all are predominated. That's it.
So I guess what we can say then is actually we should eliminate the word Vaishnava from Prabhupada's books, and we should put Vaishnavi in there. And then we can all, you and I were also Vaishnavis, right? Because we're also ultimately feminine. Okay, we're starting our program now. Okay, so anybody else dying to make a comment to our monkey on this topic, or we'll move ahead to the next topic?
Just to say that Sikhi Mahiti's sister is Madhavi. Yes, it's in Adi Lila 10, text 135 and 36.
Thank you very much, Professor. Yes. Are you the offstage voice that got Kamsa? Kamsa, you're such a fool. Jagaguru, you are such a fool. Yes. Okay, here's
Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Oh, 1 second. All right. Okay. Well, we have 2 people in line here, and that's all we'll take. We have Srinivas Acharya from New Haven.
Guru Maharaj,
Naya
please accept my
Ashrama.
please accept my humble obeisance, Sarvashra Prabhupada. I just wanted to say there's a typo in your slide. That's Aditi, who wanted to kill Indra. It was Diti who wanted to kill Indra.
Okay, I was thinking about that. Yeah, Aditi.
Adityas are the demigods, so their mother is Aditi. So the demon.
The Daityas had taken control, so then Aditi then wanted to get a son, so she got Vamanadev, right?
It was when Maruts were born, Kashyapa wanted to, Diti wanted to kill Indra, and then she performs austerities. And
but that was a different event. I'm thinking of the time that Aditi wanted to get a son, so she also performed the sacrifice, and as a result of that, her son was born, was Vamanadev.
Yes, but I don't think she was trying to kill as.
See, you're dealing with a lawyer here. I didn't say kill.
So that context of Vaishnavi probably is from the Diti pastime, Guru Maharaj, is what I was trying to say. Yeah. But it is true that Aditi also worships, Vishnu to get him as a son.
Yeah. It was Aditi worshipped the Lord to get, and she got Vamana as a son so she could defeat Bali, right?
Yes, regain their kingdom. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I was referring to. And then she was called a Vaishnavi in that Leela. In that Leela. Anyway, we can look up the details.
Okay.
One final comment here by Yugala Kishore Dasi. Okay.
El libro de Radharani se menciona que Durga anuncia la aparición también de Radharani.
Okay.
La aparición de Radharani. Aparte de los que iban a ser muertos, más bien la encarnación de Krishna, también anuncia la venida de Srimati Radharani.
Okay. She's commenting that the book Radha, which I think is by Purushottam Maharaj, says that Durga announced also the appearance of Radha, like that. Okay. Okay, moving on to our next slide here. We can discuss this more, which is not moving. What's happening? Escape. Okay, there we go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Can you see our next slide, Harsh Pradhan? Okay.
Oh, not yet.
I might, if you want to talk British English, you have to speak like you're from Liverpool.
Okay, so we don't have the slides yet. Anybody can see? Yes, we have. You can continue, my lord.
It's good connection. Please repeat. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 7, verse number 157. Prabhu Yabhiyana Vishveshvara Darshane.
Prabhu Yabhayana Vishvasare Darshane.
Prabhu Yabhi. I got here. Okay. My microphone is fighting with itself. Prabhu Yabhiyana Vishveshvara Darshane.
Prabhu Yabhayana Vishveshvara Darshane.
Laksha Laksha Loka Asi Mile Se Stane.
Laksha Laksha Lokasi Mile Se Sthane.
Laksha Laksha Loka Asi Mile Se Stane.
Laksha Laksha Lokasi Mile Se Sthane.
Is the Bengali sufficiently close to Hindi that you can understand it?
Yes, Maharaj.
How would you say it in Hindi?
Which the complete line?
Yeah, can you say the same thing in Hindi?
The word sequence will be different.
Oh, okay. But the words are so similar, no? The meaning, no?
Yes, it's all born of Mother Sanskrit.
Yeah. Vaishnava. Okay, translation. When the Lord Chaitanya went to visit the temple of Vishveshvara, hundreds of thousands of people, Laksha Loki, assembled to see him. Okay. And Prabhupada says the important point in this verse is that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly, one thing I'm going to add a drawing tool, spotlight. Here we go. The important point in this verse is that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly visited the temple at Vishveshvara, temple of Vishveshvara, Lord Shiva at Varanasi. It's a very big temple, isn't it?
Yes, not yet, not now, but it is actually. So there is a debate going on how to expand it.
Okay. The Vaishnavas generally do not visit a demigod's temple. But here we see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly visited the temple of Vishveshvara, who was the predominating deity of Varanasi. Okay. Yeah. Predominating deity. Okay. How is it that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who took the part of a Vaishnava sannyasi, also visited the Vishveshvara temple? Okay. He took the part of a Vaishnava sannyasi. So how did he visit this temple of Vishveshvara, Lord Shiva? The answer, Prabhupada says, is that a Vaishnava does not behave impudently toward the demigods. A Vaishnava gives proper respect to all, although he never accepts a demigod to be as good as God, as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vaishnavas can also worship all these demigods. Haribo! Vaishnavi ki jai! But only on the principles of the Brahma Samhita, which is recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We may note in this connection the mantras for worshiping Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Goddess Durga, the Sun God, and Ganesh, as described in the Brahma Samhita. So Prabhupada describes the Pancho Pashana worship. Pancha means five, Pashana means worship. He says this is prominent in India. In India, people worship these five forms of God, and they think that they're all equal or things like that. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, was it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But sometimes the list also includes impersonal Vishnu. Paramatma type Vishnu like that. So Prabhupada is saying in the Brahma Samhita we can worship these different forms of the Lord. Okay, escape, okay. Help. Okay, so now we will chant one Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Can you see the slide now, Professor? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the mantra from the Brahma Samhita for Durga. So it's very, very nice if you're trying to be Bhakti by Baba to memorize this today. On Lord Shiva's birthday party, you can memorize Lord Shiva's birthday. The sun god's verse, you can memorize every day before when you see the sun. Okay. So please repeat. Prastai state pralaya sadhana shaktire.
Shishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shaktireka.
Chayeva yasya bhuvanani bibharta durga.
Chaye vayasya bhuvanani bhibarti durga.
Anurupam api yasya chachesta tesa.
Ichhanurupam api yasya chacheshtha sa.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadi purusham tam aham bhajami.
No. So it's very, very nice verse. This is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's translation, as I understand, in the Brahma Samhita. And the commentary and maybe translations also were there from, well, maybe, probably not, because Jiva Goswami, as I understand, has a translation, and has a commentary. So maybe his commentary as well as the original text were in Sanskrit. So this may also be Bhaktisiddhanta's translation. The external potency, Maya, was of the nature of the shadow of the Chit, spiritual potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. Of course, she's an agent of her husband, Lord Shiva. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. It's a very, very nice description. And of course, we can go on all day long discussing, Durga Devi and Mahamaya. The gopis, of course, are praying to her that they go Maha Yogin, Maha Shakti. Yeah, please arrange that we become the husband of the son of Nanda. Like that. So this is worshiping her as Yoga Maya, the internal potency, Krishna's sister, Subhadra. If you're good, she's Subhadra, Krishna's sister. And if you're bad, she's Subhadra, she's external energy. So one relationship with Kamsa, another relationship with the gopis. And of course, she also wants to participate in these pastimes in Vrindavan. And there's a Mahamaya temple there in Vrindavan, so many things, So it's very, very nice perspective. And as our consciousness becomes more mature, then we can understand, like Prabhupada is giving here directly, mantras, so we can chant this today and learn this. If we learn this mantra today, of course, it's worshiping Devi. Shristi Sthiti Pralaya, creation, maintenance, and destruction. Yeah. So any comments from anybody today about Durga Devi?
Maharaj, before Krishna's appearance, was the deity of Durga there, or is it only after Krishna's appearance when he gave this benediction, the deity manifested?
You talk a little louder, it's not quite clear.
I was wondering if the deity Durga, the name Durga, was it there before, at least in the earthly realm? Was she being worshipped before Krishna's appearance?
I don't know. Of course, Hiranyakasipu, right? Or Ravan, right? Ravana was worshiping Lord Shiva, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But are you asking if that particular name was used, or if
Because Krishna gave the benediction, right? Because you will be born as my sister, you will be worshipped with these names. So then from that, can we understand that she was not being worshipped before?
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but what you're saying, it seems kind of true that over time, and because of different great acharyas, in their sampradayas, they were establishing and giving her certain names. Like Krishna is known as Jagannath, Ranchor, Vital, in different places like that. So she became known. But again, so there must be Tamasic Puranas, which give all the perspective for her. I think the story of Tulasi is from a Tamasic Purana.
And also Rukmini Devi goes to the temple of Durga, I believe. Well, that's after Krishna's appearance, but unless she became famous in the last 16 years, it seemed like that Prabhupada mentions it's a tradition, so that means that temple must have been there before Rukmini Devi.
No, I was thinking the same thing when you asked the questions, but my intelligence kind of limited because I was thinking, oh, that's afterwards. So then my mind went back to Hiranyakasipu. Mind is a machine. We think we're very intelligent, but it's the brains that are intelligent. In the next lifetime, we may have the brains of a dog. They still recognize each other.
Thank you for reminding us of this festival. Thank you.
I think also the comment, somebody made a comment. Kama Gayatri says, "Sorry, Krishna, we were wondering if we are wondering if we trend of calling Mataji's Vaishnavis due to Mataji's being used in a derogatory way. Those Matajis, okay, those. I mean, other places people use the word sannyasi in a derogatory way. Those damn sannyasis." I've encountered some ISKCON women who do not want to be addressed as Mataji. Okay. I asked if it was due to how Mataji has been used by men in ISKCON. She grew up in ISKCON and said yes. Okay. As I say, it's a very, very particular thing. Mother Urmila Devi Dasi, and my own particular experiences, which are limited. I asked her if I could call her Mataji, and she said yes. But she said then if I did that, her initials would be, because she's Urmila Devi Dasi, UDD, yeah. And so she said, but then her initials would be MUDD, Mud. But she said that was also okay because her father many times when she was a little girl wasn't acting properly. He would say, he'd tell her, that unless she started acting properly, her name would be Mud. So on. But then we decided she can also be Mother Urmila Devi Dasi Yogini, because then she would be muddy. Okay. So, as I always say, Mother Urmila Devi Dasi Prabhu. Okay. Yeah. Other hand is that Prabhupada does many times, present the word. He says that all men should look at, quotes Chanakapanda, all men should look at them other than their own wife as mothers. So there's also that context. But you can take any word and make it into a bad word in a context like that. Yeah. And what else? You can say, oh, Christ. Oh, Christ, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Yes, sir.
May I just add one thing on this one? I just recently found an interesting thing. Prithu Maharaj, when he appeared, all the Gandharvas and they're glorifying him. One of the way they glorify him is they say Matru Bhakti Parastrishu. O king, you look at all women as mothers. And I thought that was interesting. So it's not just Chanakya, but even in Srimad Bhagavatam 4, 16, 17, the Bhagavatam is saying that Prutamara saw all the women as his mothers, and that was one of his glory. When they were glorifying him, they glorified him like that. Matra Bhakti Parastrishu. I was really surprised. And the word bhakti is also used in that sense. Applying the way you look at a woman as a mother, it's used along with the word bhakti.
Yeah. Simultaneously, just if somebody is a mother, done the job properly, what more glorification do you want? There are many other ways if you have a female body to become glorious. But if you've just been physically, biologically undergoing the austerity of becoming the biological mother and then nursing and raising, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children, and then giving them the emotional education and intellectual occasion and moral character and example. I mean, it's just as respectable, if not, it's just as respectable, either title, Swami or mother, either title. Anyway, that's the topic. We're here now. We have to leave a little bit timely because the Board of Examiners starts their program at 8:30 in the morning. They were starting at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, but I convinced them to start it at 8:30. And I don't think I can squeeze them any more than that. And I'm trying to work with them. The Ministry of Education, we haven't had much contact with the Tapa Mishra or anybody since we left the board of they call it the executive committee. And others also, we haven't had too much, So maybe Tapan's suffering for some health. But right now that we're talking about it, I'll try and contact him again. We had little contact when we had this symposium, international symposium. But we're going ahead. We're trying to stay in touch with our institution. And always that same aspect is that we should be good members of our institution and trying to work with it. Work with our local temple presidents and with GBC secretaries, and then different ministries that relate to us. But more important that behind it is that we're friends. One time I was getting a little arrogant, or angry at some people in terms of administrative relationships, and it happened several times. Krishna has corrected me. But then Seshadas, he said, Hanuman Swami, they are people. So, oh my God, yeah, I forgot. And as soon as I remembered that, sometimes we forget it because we have different jobs to do, but superficially, okay, and people accept that, okay, now we're talking business and, it's just not so serious, but we're dealing with these things, okay, But then the second level is we're being friends and we develop friendship. And of course, that depends upon different things, different character, kind of people we are, what our interests are. And ultimately, it goes even to our swarup. And finally, of course, there's our individual personal relationship with Prabhupada and Krishna. And everybody in ISKCON, you have to have this. If you're developed, by the time you're taking initiation, you should have a personal relationship with Prabhupada. Anybody who's performing Diksha or anything else for you, it should only be that you feel, okay, they're only serving as a means by which I can have a personal relationship with Prabhupada. And I know Prabhupada's accepting me as a disciple. So that's kind of a little bit of a comment about our work with the Board of Examiners today. So we're trying to develop some good questions. And I don't agree with a lot of the questions and everything else, but one thing I've learned is that, we can't have 100% success in everything we're trying to do, and so we have to figure out what are the priorities and what are our responsibilities. Hanuman wanted to carry Sita back to Ram, but that wasn't the right thing to do. He could have done it, but it would have been offensive because then Ram would not have had a chance to rescue her. So we have different abilities, but sometimes we shouldn't be using them. It's not proper. What is our service? Prabhupada wrote many very, very beautiful poems, things like that. different things, And he also said I could have made Back to Godhead a funny magazine, But he said I chose not to. So different things. So he spoke predominantly in his classes in English because that was the order that Bhaktisiddhanta gave him, preach to the English-speaking world. So we have to find out what is our position, and then try and develop that service, just very, very perfectly. And of course, if we do that, then that our good example and our good work will then influence the entire rest of the tree. If there are good leaves on one branch, then of course that feeds the entire tree. Passes down to the whole tree like that. So things we've been here maybe for almost 10 days now in New Ashok Van, and we're trying to make a movie on this. We tried doing it yesterday, but only half of it got recorded. And we've had meetings with people. People are visiting us, and the quarantine circumstances are very good. So today we'll try and make the movie. Oh, that's going to be hard because we'll try and do it even still, because today's Tuesday, and show the ashram facilities. And we're already trying to line up for different people coming, because the directors, they want to use the place as a studio, and they've got very good cameras and everything else and lighting effects, And so then, of course, to be part of that, but also while we're here, then we can do online programs. And so we're getting we had diarrhea for maybe dysentery for a couple of days because the salad was being washed in the river water. So it got us a little bit. But now we got a filter, so even the salad's not being like that, But other than that, the cooked food was okay, probably. So our Sankirtan is going on well, like that. And we hope to be in touch with everybody here. We're trying to, of course, you see us use the priority codes. Look in the Kapi Dwaja for the Kapi Dwaja priority code for the blog. And every morning in the morning program, if anybody asks for it, we give a priority code. Okay. So if you're reading the Kapi Dwaja, and if you're attending the morning program, then you have priority for your letters in the blog, like that. So, any final questions or comments? Tomorrow will be Mañana va a ser Español or Castellano. Got some chats. Yes. Yes. Srinivas. Kashipa wanted to make Diti a Vaishnava. Okay. Kill Indra. Okay. So, yes. Kama Gayatri. Yes. Mataji. Yes. Matir Bhaktir Para Shusta. Yeah. 4:16:17. Very nice. Yes, sir.
Just a little thing. Whatever Chanakya has, before Chanakya, we had scriptures as in guiding. After Chanakya, he was the first person to prepare the constitution, in the sense he took something from this scripture, something from that scripture. So ultimately, whatever Chanakya has taken is from scriptures. There is no doubt about that. But it's a compendium, and he's famous and he's the father of this term called constitution. So he made the first constitution, which is different from the traditional Manuskriti-based guidelines. That's all, Maharaj. Thank you.
Who is his son?
Chanakya's son, I don't know, Maharaj. He was not that famous, but he had a son, I suppose, or he had a daughter. But nobody had the capacity.
Who is? I guess you said he was the son of. I guess. So who is he the son of?
No, I did not say the son of. He's father of. He's like the father of the constitution. Like he made the first constitution in which scriptures were not involved.
Okay. Oh, so he oh boy. So he did a constitution for the Maurya dynasty.
Because at that time there were lots of religion coming up, and they were not able to directly guide with the Vedic principles. Hence, he started modifying things and trying to adjust everything. And the first constitution came, which were different from direct scriptures.
Okay, but that was Chandragupta Maurya, right?
Chanakya was, yes, at the time of Chandragupta Maurya. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then that, of course, that was a very powerful dynasty for a long time.
Yes, Maharaj, it was.
Yeah, and so does the Indian government still use his ideas for the Constitution of India?
No, the Indian government has borrowed the Constitution of India from France, Canada, Australia, UK, primarily because all of the creators were studied in English and they wanted to have an established system. So from that they have borrowed the principles. However, when it comes to day-to-day life and day-to-day politics, Chanakya is quoted very much.
Yes. I was told that in general, maybe it's not true anymore, but if somebody's father had a certain job in a company, like he was in charge of something, this and that, and then when he died, it was many times offered to the oldest son, to take it up like that. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so thank you all very much. Please chant Hare Krishna and offer obeisance to all the devotees and be happy.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, muchas gracias.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru
Jai
Maharaj.
Srila Prabhupada.
Muchas gracias.
Hare Krishna, muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.